10,000 fearless on the move.
Let's go! Deep in the delta where the willows grow, in the soil stained by the blood of my ancestors. Punch bowl voices call out to my soul for justice. The wicked will reap what they've sown. Spirit of Aziz is back on the rise. Soldiers in the delta kept it alive. Time to stand up, take our place in the sun. Understand the time and what must be done.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. This is it. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip.
Gotta make a move and take control. Have something we can call our own. So shine your light, help the people see that now is the time for us to be free. And if you waiting on the pie in the sky, you better wake up fast. They told you a lie, cause big fields await the wide awake man. Elijah's got the massive
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. Injustice, we've had enough. All of our divisions we're breaking up. Destiny has been calling us. The spirit of the Most High is guiding us.
See, the time is now. What you waiting on? Quit shooting your brothers. Put your gun down. Come on. They got a cage waiting for you if you keep that up. Early graves coming to you. From that, can't raise you up. Now, Sister Ida B and Fannie Lou, check them out and you'll know what to do. But if you really want your enemy to be alarmed, read the final call. Follow Farrakhan.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. In Mississippi. Mississippi. 10,000 fearless on the move.
Yes, assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you, and welcome back once again to the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. I am your brother, host, and friend, Abdul Shahid Muhammad. So glad to be here this evening. Please allow me to begin in the right way, because we got to acknowledge him who, the creator of all things, in all of our ways that he may direct our path. So I begin in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. I bear witness to the oneness of God, to the oneness of his prophets, to the oneness of the scriptures that were revealed through them to the whole of humanity. We bear witness that there is but one God, regardless of the land, label, or language we choose. As spiritually mature people, we know and understand that God has made himself known according to the language and culture of the people, amongst whom he raises his prophets, messengers, and warners. So we acknowledge and respect the other names by which God is known, like Jehovah, like Yahweh, like Jah. We honor and respect all people of faith, striving to be that which will be pleasing to the divine creator of all things. Please allow me to greet you all once again with the greeting words of peace, of Assalamu alaikum. Those words simply mean, may peace be unto you. Brothers and sisters, we have a good one lined up for you tonight. I met a brother on the way to national training that I have really wanted. I've seen him, but I wanted to talk with him. And now that we have this platform, 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast, I had the opportunity to ask, would he come on and allow me to interview him? And that brother is Charles Muhammad, formerly Charles X. Quinn. Yes, if the name sounds familiar to you, he is the stepfather of the young man, our brother, Andre Jones, who was murdered. That's what I say. That's what the evidence truthfully says. 18-year-old Andre Quinn was murdered in a Mississippi jail, and it was ruled a suicide by hanging. And this happened way back in 1993. But in addition to that, in the wake of that murder, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan visited Jackson, Mississippi, and gave I would describe it as a pivotal message. At least it was pivotal for me. It was a hinge moment message for me, because in June of 1993, I had not yet joined the Nation of Islam, though I was in the process of studying and listening to the minister and visiting the mosque. So I was in processing. But it was that message that concretized some things for me in my mind and heart as it relates to questions I asked about who is this man? That's man being the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And we'll get into that tonight. So we're looking forward to having our brother tonight, Brother Charles Muhammad now. He is the former student minister, or the student minister emeritus. He's still very active and involved in Mosque number 78 down there in Jackson, Mississippi, with the believers under the charge and leadership of student minister Abram Muhammad and the laboring staff there. And I'm looking forward to going back into time, if you will, because now with this platform, in the 90s, it made a lot of news, but this kind of thing is still happening in Mississippi. As you know, recently in Taylorsville, Mississippi, Rasheem Carter turns up missing, and they just find his remains. And somehow these wicked coroners and these wicked local law enforcement officials can say, well, we don't see any evidence of foul play. And it's horrendous. So we want to interview our brother tonight, and we're looking forward to him coming on. So welcome, everybody. I see everybody is getting on. I'm so glad to see all of you. I'm going to get the shout-outs early before I even get to the axioms. I see your sister Marissa, Sister Bree, Brother Ricky, my dear sister Lydia, and that dear sister Audrey. Yes, I see all of you, and I see, hold on, I think I see a new face. Omobola is the last name. Welcome to the 10K Fearless Podcast. If this is your first time, and I definitely see Sister Patricia too, and others that have logged on to be with us, some on the platform, on the Podbean platform, and then we got some online. I can't see the names online, so shout out to those of you that have joined us via your desktop and whatever device you are using outside of your smartphone and the app itself. So let's get to our axioms that I call them axioms. And y'all know what an axiom is. I give that definition just about every episode because I want everyone to know what we mean by what we say. An axiom is a statement or proposition which is regarded as being established, accepted, or self-evidently true to serve as a premise or starting point for further reasoning and arguments. So we always open with these because, sometimes the truth can be very, very painful. Sometimes the truth can cause us to experience what a French psychologist called cognitive dissonance. And cognitive dissonance is when you've held a belief for so many years or a number of years or even all your life, and you receive information that runs counter to that belief or that attitude, and it forces you, in words, to have to change your state of mind, your position, your attitude, your belief. There's a psychological discomfort that comes with having to change. The only constant in reality is change. So there are those of us who subscribed, particularly when our brother Barack Obama became the president. Many of us wanted to subscribe to the notion or the belief that we are now living in a post-racial America. Y'all remember that? Because now a black man is president of the United States, and that was to serve as proof that America is getting or has gotten beyond racism. But since our brother has left office, we now are having a worse time with race relations since prior to his administration or prior to him winning the office of the presidency. Would you not agree? We see the rise of the Karen and the indignant behavior of many of those, and the attitudes have resurfaced, and we know why. But let us get into these axioms. The first one that I like to give to you is from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, where he says, when you see men fall, don't laugh, learn, because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation, nor from the weakness that will cause us to stumble and fall. When you laugh at somebody else's fall, white or black, rich or poor, your enemy or your friend, you're laughing and opening a way for your own demise when you do that. Because to laugh and not learn to make a mockery and not to understand is to make the same mistake yourself. Now, that's something to think about. And the next one I'd like to give is from our brother Carter G. Woodson, where he writes in The Miseducation of the Negro, he said, quote, when you control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his actions. You do not have to tell him to go here or yonder. He will find his proper place and will stay in it. You do not need to send him to the back door. He will go without being told. In fact, if there's not a back door, he will cut one for his special benefit. His education makes it necessary. End quote. Well, some may be saying, well, brother, those you say that every week. That stuff does not apply today. Really? Are you sure? Are you positive? Have you heard of a thing called social media? Of course you have. You know, Facebook and Instagram and all of the other platforms that we now go and scan and scroll for our information. And that thing that you scrolled, interestingly enough, they called it your feed. And a lot of that information is, some of it is good, but the vast majority, the lion's share of it is information that you really don't need or have any use for. And unfortunately, we live in a society now where the cell phone, or I call it, or as it's called, I should say, the smartphone. The smartphone is making us dumb. Y'all remember back in the day when you could remember 5, 6, 7, or 8 phone numbers, 10 of them. You can just run them off from memory. Haven't you noticed you don't remember nobody's phone number anymore unless you got your smartphone? You look it up and see what it is. Isn't that interesting? Haven't you noticed how when you don't have your phone, you come to a screeching halt and you start patting your body and you want everything to stop till you find that phone? I'm guilty of it too. And I noticed, I was like, God, that phone is like, woo. And now there is an epidemic. See, the thinking is being controlled so they ain't got to worry about the actions. But there's an epidemic now. They're saying there's a mental health issue with children and smart devices like iPads and cell phones. Even in high schools, if you take a student's phone, I've experienced this personally in my line of work. Teachers have taken students' cell phones in class because they're inattentive. They're not paying attention. They're on their phone when they should be. So the teacher said, look, bring me your phone. And the children would rather fight, get a suspension, than give up their phone. And the teacher tells them, you'll get it back at the end of class. I just need your attention for the rest of it. No, they would rather get a suspension, get sent to the office. I ain't giving you my phone. And even the students that give up the phone, if it's not returned to them in a timely manner, they call the parent. And the parent that they can't get to come to a parent-teacher conference, they'll show up for that cell phone. So these devices now are controlling the thinking of the people where you don't have to worry about their actions. Ain't that something? And the final quote or axiom that I would like to share with you comes from Victor Hugo by way of our brother, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., may God be pleased with him, where he quoted Mr. Hugo as saying, quote, "If the soul is left in darkness, sins will be committed. The guilty one is not he who commits the sin, but he who causes the darkness." So there you have it. Those are axioms to get us started. We're going to do like we always do. We're going to get into our break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to get started with tonight's program. Now, y'all, this may sound familiar because there's another podcast called the Arise and Shine Podcast. Oh, yeah, it's on our network. But this is the theme music written and arranged by your brother, Abdul Shaheed Muhammad. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Come on. Wake up, brother, sister, the light has come for you and me now. We can go free now. Arise and shine. Sister, the light is shining on me and you now. We can break through now. It's your time.
Up in the early morning, seek my help from on high. Great thought it had a victory. Death tried to sting but missed me. And now I'm alive to arise and shine.
Shake's Famous Seasonings. Flavors for every occasion. Want to add a touch of authentic flavor to any dish? Searching for a unique range of seasonings that always put great taste on the menu? Welcome to Shake's Famous Seasonings. Whether you're a professional chef, passionate home cook, or a complete beginner in the kitchen, taste and flavor should always be on the menu. It's why Master Chef Rashid Muhammad has combined more than 30 years in the kitchen with a passion for mouth-watering flavors to create a range of seasonings unlike any other. Always gluten-free, so you can enjoy great taste exactly how nature intended. Versatile flavors that work with fresh fish, chicken, or vegetables from the very first bite. Authentic cooking experience that adds something special to any occasion. Versatile seasonings that are perfect for baking, frying, grilling, and plenty of tasting. Ready for real authentic flavor? When it's time to see just how delicious seasoned foods can be, why wait? With the click of a button, you can have 30 years of passion for food sent direct to your door. Just what you need to add flavors to every occasion and create meals that you'll always want to eat twice.
Place your order at sfseasonings.com. That's sfseasonings.com.
Taste the difference. Taste Supreme. Enjoy our 100% natural Supreme spring water with natural calcium and magnesium, but zero fluoride and zero chloride. Our bottles are BPA free. Order yours today. Call us at 800-573-8033. That's 800-573-8033. Or visit us online at www.supremespringwater.com. Live supreme. Be supreme. Drink supreme. Supreme Spring Water, 801 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314.
The Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. At Urban Indulgence, we pride ourselves on offering quality, effective skincare. Handcrafted with plant-based, skin-loving ingredients, our soaps and body butters will give you luxurious lather and ultimate moisture. Experience The Urban Indulgence at 3314 Poplar Avenue in Memphis, 3 blocks west of Poplar Plaza, or shop with us online at theurbanindulgence.com. Theurbanindulgence.com.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
What's your source for truth in news reports?
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Where do you turn for non-corporate driven news that's fair and balanced?
No shoot. No shoot.
Subscribe to the Final Call News, your #1 free and independent news source that delivers hard-hitting national and international news coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues. To subscribe to local home delivery, call us at area code 662-252-8999. That's 662-252-8999. Visit our website at www.finalcall.com.
10,000 fearless on the move.
And we are back live here at the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. Once again, I am your host, Brother Abdul Shaheed Muhammad. And it's now time for that farm report. And we're going to get the farm report in. I think my brother William is ready to come. Let me check. Yeah, there he is. Brother William Muhammad, our farmer extraordinaire. Brother William, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, sir.
There, he sounds loud and clear tonight, y'all. Yeah, I'm so glad. Brother William, I understand there's a lot going on the farm, or maybe not too much going on. Give us the report for tonight, my brother.
Yes, sir. I'll start with the national report, which is Muhammad Farms, our national farm in the Nation of Islam. I received the staple good coordinators, which I'm a part of. We received letters from Dr. Ridgely and Sister Ann at the farm, giving the latest report. And I'm going to read it so that everybody can hear it and get it straight as it was given in the letter. It says that our wheat fields and watermelon fields was taken over by Johnson grass and other weeds. Our wheat harvest was 10% of what was expected. We do not have enough wheat left to plant and make flour for Staple Goods 26. We will plant the wheat we have, which cannot be harvested until June of 2025. It takes about 2 months to let the wheat properly dry before we can mill it into flour. We set up the Staple Goods project especially to move the flour. So since we will not have enough flour until September of 2025, we will not do Staple Goods 26 until then. Furthermore, due to an increase in transportation and labor costs, we find that we must institute the following. 1, instead of 500 pounds per city, you must order 1,000 pounds.
Ooh.
2, if you go in with another city, we will only deal with the coordinator from the primary city. The shipment will be sent to that city, and that coordinator will receive the reimbursement. You will have to work out all the details. 3, you must have an alternate contact number of someone that we can reach in case the primary number does not work when the trucking company calls. So Staple Goods 26 will not be available until September 2025. And the reason being for the wheat is because there's no herbicides sprayed on the wheat, no pesticides. And, Doc only has so much help. He doesn't have much help. So all of the weeds, the watermelon fields, the wheat fields, and anything else that's grown,
Yes, sir.
the weeds have to be pulled by hand. So because he doesn't have the help, the grass is taking over, and and it's choking out the crops.
Good God Almighty. Well, my brother, look, I think we better get a head start, Brother William, and start soliciting our brothers and sisters who tune into this podcast, because our staple goods are available not only to us in the Nation of Islam, but also to brothers and sisters in our communities, in the cities where we are present in the Nation of Islam. So what do you think, Brother William? We want to go ahead and get a list of people who want to order and have them on standby so that Holly Springs will meet that 1,000-pound mark, or have we been meeting it just as we are, have we not?
Yes, sir. We've already the last order that we made, we ordered over 1,000 pounds. So
Yes.
yes, sir. So if we add some more people in, that should be able to keep us, or if the believers just order extra. So from now until September, that gives us over a year to go ahead and start putting back money.
Yes, sir.
Specifically for the staple goods program. And we know we're going to need it. And then go out into the community as well and ask our people. Because we do get help or support from people in the community as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, brother, in light of the fact that our national farm, what are we doing on the state level to compensate for where we may fall short on the national level?
I just got off the phone with Brother Musa not long ago, and I'm actually on the conference call, which is at the same time that the show is on the podcast. So I get off the conference call to give my report, and with the State Farm, squash, contender beans, rutabaga, cabbage, broccoli, butternut squash, and it was one or two more I couldn't remember. I was trying to write it down, but I was multitasking.
Yes, sir.
But that's being planted for the fall crops.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
I talked to Brother Gerald earlier today in Ackerman. Well, he's actually in Vicksburg, but in Vicksburg, what he has in his backyard. He said he has a lot of okra, brother, and he said he wanted to send some up with it. Told him, look, send me some okra up here. I need some okra. So, Brother William, when Brother Gerald calls you, please put aside some okra. I told him I'll get my wife to put some okra in some of those beautiful navy beans that she put in there and put them together, and I'm going to have me some okra and navy beans. You know what I mean? So,
Yes, sir.
please. Now, moving to the local level right there in Marshall County and Holly Springs, Tammy's Garden. How are we looking with that, brother?
Okay, I got the tiller. I got the tiller this past Sunday because I wanted to come up and go ahead and till, so I won't have to wait, to actually get into the marsh to do it.
Yes, sir.
So the way it's looking is gonna be probably this Sunday, but I had to make sure that the tiller, would crank and everything. So I did a little tilling in the raised bed garden that my wife and I are getting ready to start at home
Yes, sir.
in our yard, and so the tiller working good. So this, inshallah, this Sunday, after the meeting is over with, I'm gonna go up there and try to till some of that spot that we got up there, so we can start the fall planting season. And it's pretty much the same thing as what the State Farm will be planting.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So, but I'm asking for help
Yes.
because of the fact that I live so far away,
Yes,
and
sir.
so we're gonna try to organize it so that one day a week, everybody who we can get to participate, at least one day a week, to go up and help, in case some weeds or something is growing, pull some weeds out, because it's a 25-foot by 100-foot spot, which is not real big. It's not real small, but it's not real big either.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
and what I'm
praise
trying
be
to
to
do is
Allah.
that for the ones who volunteer, we're going to allow, the volunteers to get one row to plant, something of the fall crops, and then assign that one row to that person and let that person, take care of that one row. If
Yes,
we can get
sir.
it done like that.
Praise be to Allah. Well, Brother William, man, I thank you so very much. Anything else before we part, brother? Because I think I might got my brother Charles. I see a Khadijah Quinn on. I would venture to say that's probably Brother Charles or a relative. So I'm looking forward to having this conversation. So what you got? Anything before we part ways, sir?
Yes, sir. One last point. Dr. Ridgely told us that what's being done by the USDA, they got the $2 billion fund that's been set up for black farmers, but they've also, now they changed it to minority farmers. So that's white women, other races, and also the alphabet community can get in on that as well to get some of that money, which comes about maybe 40, just a little bit over $40,000 a piece, which is not much for black farmers. But what the USDA has done since the pandemic, when they discovered that the Nation of Islam was giving out bags of navy beans, they worked out a deal with the black farmers to pay them 10% more than retail to give that produce to faith-based organizations like the churches, other nonprofit organizations like food banks to give to the people. And there was a tactic that was used to keep the people from the Nation of Islam, in the
Wow.
program that we have.
Good God Almighty. Ain't that something? We can't even give our people stuff without them interfering in our affairs. But that's all right, because we got a mighty God, brother, and he's at work. So, Brother William, man, look, we thank you once again, dear brother, brothers and sisters. Let's give him a round of applause. That is very important information, dear family. And God willing, we'll get more hands, where many hands will make the work a lot lighter, Brother William. So please keep us informed. You know who to contact. Stay in touch with Brother Najee. And shout out to my brother Najee, man. I thank him so much for his support. And, of course, to the laboring staff and our newly installed MGT coordinator, our dear Sister Lydia, and the ever-present Sister Audrey and Brother Freddie. So thank each of you, brother. And, of course, I can't leave out that brother that goes in the belly of the beast, Student Minister James Muhammad. Thank the laboring staff of the Holly Springs Study Group. Thank you, sir. Inshallah, we'll be talking again next week, all right?
Yes, sir. Brother Gerald in the conference, the people on the conference call, they extended the greetings of Assalamu alaikum.
Tell him I said wa alaikum salam. I'm going to have to get him on the podcast, man, and interview Brother Gerald. I missed him last time, so let him know. Get himself ready. He's going to be in the funnel soon, inshallah. All right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Praise is due to Allah. Come on, y'all.
10,000 fearless on the move.
Yes, indeed, we are on the move. So it's about that time, brothers and sisters, about 2 minutes past that time. We have our special guest, and I think this is my brother Charles. I'm going to mute Brother William. He can certainly stay on if he so desires and just listen from there. But this beloved brother, I had the opportunity to be with him and the rest of the FOI out of the great state of Mississippi. Brother Basil, Brother Sean, Brother Aziz, Brother Tafid, of course, Brother Charles, and Brother Najee. Man, it was 9 of us total. If I leave somebody out and y'all listening, brothers, can't charge it to my head, not my heart. But I had a chance to talk with Brother Charles, and I invited him to the podcast to talk about, Brother Lutalo was with us. And who else? I think that's all 9 of them. Brother Lou, I call him Big Lou now. That's what I call him, Brother Big Lou. We had a wonderful time, man. We bonded as brothers out of the state of Mississippi. And inshallah, be it the will of Almighty God Allah, instead of 9 brothers, we want to do 18 or more. We want to at least double that number for the 30th annual International Training Conference hosted by our student supreme captain and national trainer, Abdul Aziz Muhammad. So we're looking forward to that, and we're prayerful that Allah will bless us to see another year and be participants. But I'm looking for Brother Charles. I just invited that Khadijah Quinn on. When you see the invite come up, if that is Brother Charles, I'm hoping it is. I just sent them an invite, and when you see it, just press or if you see one of those 8 circles on your phone, just press one of them circles and I'll see you on my end and let you in. Now you have to log in, you have to have a user ID and a password. So otherwise, I'll probably just give you a call and get you on the phone, Brother Charles. But Brother Charles is the step parent of our young brother who was murdered in Mississippi back in 1993. The interesting thing about this is not, of course, that's the primary thing. He and about 48 others, records showed in a period between 1987 to 1993, they found that at least 48 people, including 22 black men, were found dead from hangings in Mississippi jails. And in each and every case, I would say, the authorities declared that the official cause of death to be suicide. Now, we as black folk, we know better than that. So the families and supporters of the brothers and sisters down in that area, they formed the Mississippi Coalition for Justice to expose what was happening to our brothers and sisters and to other people down in Mississippi. I'm getting messages from different places, brothers and sisters. So what I'm going to do, I don't think Brother Charles, let me see if I can get him on the phone instead of through the dashboard. So that's what we're going to do. Let me get my brother, because I know he's standing by, because I see either one of his family members or that may be him, but he's just not logged in. If you're listening, Brother Charles, or members of the Quinn family, with the Podbean app, you have to create a user ID and password that will enable you to get on. And when you launch the app and you see the little live, which you've already done that because I see you on the dashboard, and you'll see 8 circles that say call in, and you just press one of those empty circles that has a plus sign and it's grayed out, but it has a silhouette of a person's bust and a plus sign. Click on that, and I'll see you on my side, and I can let you in. And I'm really looking forward to this, because there are those that don't really know. This was so long ago. Many of you that are on may not have never heard that this ever took place. But what happened in the wake of it, not just the incidents themselves, but what happened in the wake of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's visit to Jackson, Mississippi, is something to take note of. And I am going to allow my dear brother Charles, to get into that. So let me go ahead and see if I can get him in this way. How about this? I'll stand by, y'all. We'll be right back. We're not going nowhere. As a matter of fact, I'm going to just give you a little bit something to keep your attention. Let's see if we can get our brother on. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Charles? I hear a lot of static, brother. Let me hang up and call you again, my brother. Let's do that. Okay, let's try this again. And to the listening audience, please bear with us. And technology can sometimes be a challenge, but we're going to, by the grace of Almighty God, get our brother on. Let me call him again, because the dash panel didn't bring him in. Oh, there we go. We got a ring going, y'all. We got a ring going. Stand by.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Brother, I had you on another phone. I was trying to get you on. I have two lines, and I was trying to get you on the other line. I've been listening to the program.
Great.
At the beginning. Yeah.
Well, if on the other line.
You can hear me now.
Well, hold on. On the other line, are you still on it, right? You got the app launched?
No, I don't have it logged in. I'm just keep me on this one.
Okay, well, that's
fine. You can hear me on this.
Yes, sir. If that's more comfortable for you, brother, thank you for accepting.
Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, good.
We can hear you sufficiently enough, brother. Let me give you a little more volume, and let me go to your microphone and see if I can. Yeah, there we go. How about that? There we go. Yeah, that's even a little bit better. First of all, brother, let me certainly thank you and applaud you for taking time out of your schedule to come and be with us for this, I would say, this chapter of the history in our nation that needs to be revisited, because this kind of thing is still happening to our brothers and sisters, particularly in Mississippi and in the Delta. So I'll begin, Brother Charles. Introduce yourself to the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast family.
Well, I have been a member of the Nation of Islam since the year 1980, December the 19th. I received my letter that accepted my letter
Yes, sir.
that gave me the opportunity to become an FOI in the Nation of Islam. So I'll be experiencing, this is going to be my 44th year as a member of the Nation of Islam.
Praise be to Allah.
All praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir. And you were, no, go ahead, continue.
Just to give you a little history, of course, I was fortunate enough to start going to Holly Springs, Mississippi, under the leadership of our brother Aziz, who were known at that time as Alfred Skip Robinson, the leader of the organization there. That did a lot of wonderful work all over the state of Mississippi. I was honored to travel with him to many different locations as he established study groups throughout the state, and I have not left, and I'm very honored to be a guest on your show, and also the timing of it in this month. This is the month that our son Andre was murdered in the Simpson County Jail in Mississippi.
Wow.
Mendenhall, Mississippi.
I did not realize that, brother. I did not. Well, brother, I am and we are more honored to have you as a guest, dear brother, because, you know, our stories, man, and the narratives of them often either don't get told or they are stripped of portions and caveats that, how would I say, that they are stripped of aspects of our stories and narratives that the enemy does not want to get out to the public, that we may make an informed decision as to how to more effectively respond to this kind of thing, if that makes sense. And but go ahead. Well, you've introduced yourself. If you would, Brother Charles, walk us through that time in your family's life as best you can, because I know, brother, I know it's been a long time ago, but in your mind, it's probably just like yesterday.
Well, you know, I was fortunate that my wife and my daughter, they wrote a book about the whole experience, and they documented the time frame, as well as they wrote about Andre before he was murdered in that jail.
Wow.
On August the 22nd, 1992, Andre was murdered in the Simpson County Jail in Mendenhall, Mississippi. He was arrested after leaving home. He had been to the movies. He had taken his girlfriend out to the movies, and she lived in Brandon, Mississippi.
Right.
And he was stopped, and of course, he was arrested. And they said that he was arrested because he was driving a stolen car. Well, the vehicle that he was in was not a stolen vehicle. He was getting his car repaired because he was planning to go to Alcorn University.
Right. I read that.
The same week. And he, of course, they gave him a loaner vehicle.
Uh-huh.
And when they stopped him, they arrested him, handcuffed him, and took him to jail about 40 miles south of Jackson in Mendenhall, Mississippi.
Yes, sir.
And
that's in Rankin County, isn't it?
No, that's in Simpson County.
Oh, that's Simpson.
Sister counties.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Simpson County, yeah.
Okay.
They're sister counties.
Okay.
And within 19 hours, he was actually taken out of the jail.
Mm.
He was brutalized, beaten, and he was brought back in the jail in a wheelchair, and they hung him in the jail. They hung him in the jail with his own shoelaces.
Mm.
I can verify it all because I went into the jail.
Yes, sir. I read that as well.
I went inside the jail, and I looked at the holding cell, and there's no way he could have hung himself because of his height, and there's no way he could. That was an insult to the family and to all of us that to say that he committed suicide.
Yes, sir.
And so from that point forward, we began to work for justice.
Yes,
Minister Farrakhan assisted us every step of the way. He sent a pathologist to Jackson, to Mississippi, and I was in the room when he examined Andre. All the bruises that we saw on Andre. Andre was beaten, and he was brought into the jail in a wheelchair. And that's how they staged the hanging, of course.
Right.
And so from that point on, of course, our main effort was to just work for justice.
Yes, sir.
And we haven't received it yet.
Yes. So essentially, they murdered him outside the jail and brought him back and staged a hanging, a suicide,
Absolutely.
I should say. Wow. Wow. Now, brother, I read in my research, which I try to do and do to prepare for each program we have, it was stated that the police accused him of throwing a weapon out of the car and having an open container in the car, in addition to being in possession of a stolen vehicle. Is that correct?
And,
yes, sir.
They never materialized any weapon.
Uh-huh.
Of course, and the whole idea of him throwing a beer, all of that was put together to try to create a scenario for stopping him.
Uh-huh.
Well, let me give you a little background prior to his murder.
Yes, sir.
My wife at the time was president of the NAACP.
Yes, I read that.
And at the same time, during that time, the NAACP had brought Byron D. LeBeckwith back to court successfully, who was the murderer of Medgar Evers.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And of course, that in itself was something that they did not like. And the Nation of Islam, of course, I was the student minister there in Jackson, here in Jackson. And we were with the NAACP every meeting, of course. We were consistently supportive of the local NAACP, of course, with my wife being the president of the chapter. That was natural for us to do.
Right.
So we were surveillance prior to the death of Andre. So I think that the motive was to do something to say to us that we do not like the fact that the NAACP and the Nation of Islam is literally in bed together.
Yes.
Yeah.
And held Mr. Beckwith, Della Beckwith, accountable.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Man.
So
now I found out
my
something.
daughter.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. My daughter, Colida, and my wife, Esther, they eventually decided to write a book.
Yes, and we need to get that book.
Mississippi Jail Hangings.
What's the title of it, brother Charles?
Mississippi Jail Hangings, Behind the Magnolia.
Oh, we need to announce that and make it known on this platform that people can go and get that book so they can have the account of the family and the mother. And let me send shout out to your queen, brother, sister Esther, and your daughter, and thank them. I think your daughter is on. Matter of fact, I know now that has to be her. Whose name that I saw, sister. Let me find her. I want to send a shout out to. I want to say the name right first of all. I see my wife. She's on. Bless her heart. She's always so supportive. Thank you. Yes, Sister Khalida Quinn. Welcome, Sister Khalida. Thank you for tuning in, and God bless you, sister. We want to announce the book that has been written and make sure we inform our people to go and purchase it. But, brother, please continue. Did I miss you, Brother Charles? I'm sorry, brother. Hold on just a second. When my phone goes, when the phone goes out or the screen goes dark, Brother Charles, it'll disconnect from Bluetooth. So let me get you reconnected to Bluetooth, okay? Or to okay, now you should be coming back through. There you go. Continue, brother, please.
Yes. So, it was, I guess, it's not ironic you to invite us on to talk about the death and the murder of our son at this particular time. August the 22nd.
Wow.
1992 is when Andre was murdered.
I did not know that.
And August, you did not know it, right? And that's very significant that you did not know that you invited us to talk about the death of Andre. You had no idea that it was actually this month in 1992, August the 22nd, 1992, that Andre was murdered in the Simpson County Jail in Mendenhall, Mississippi.
Yes, sir.
You did not know that August 24th, Minister Louis Farrakhan pledged the support of the Nation of Islam and immediately sent Dr. James Bryant, a pathologist, to perform an autopsy. You did not know that I was present in that room when he performed the autopsy. I saw all the bruises on Andre's body. And I saw the literature mark on his neck. And it wasn't from a hanging. It was crisscross. It was from a strangulation. And that when I had a chance to talk to some of the inmates that were there, they told me that they brought Andre into the jail in a wheelchair. Mm-hmm. So he was already dead when they brought him into the jail, yes, and they staged the hanging scenario.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They moved many of the inmates from that jail, and one of them was moved to Texas and he wrote a pen pal in England, and the pen pal in England wrote me and said that one of the inmates who were in the jail, Mendenhall, Mississippi, wrote her so she could write me to let me know, and we already knew that he was murdered, but he wanted to be confirmed. He wanted my family to know that he was in the jail and he witnessed what actually happened.
Wow.
And they sent him from Mississippi in the jail in Mendenhall. They sent him to Texas. But he was determined to make sure that we knew that Andre had no reason to commit suicide. He was getting ready to go to college. He had got a scholarship at Alcorn University to major in engineering.
That's right.
So he had no reason. What was his motive? Why would he want to kill himself?
And furthermore, Brother Charles, his charges were misdemeanor charges.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the truck that he was driving was a loaner because he had gotten to receive the vehicle for his birthday, and he was getting it, what we call the young people, souped up. You know, he was getting the engine revved up. Uh-huh. So when he had left his vehicle, they put him in that truck that he was in.
Yes, sir.
So surely, if he had stolen the truck, he wouldn't be openly driving a stolen truck.
Of course not.
So it was. We know that he was murdered in that jail.
So
I'd like to.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'd just like to add before you ask any questions more that when we contacted the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan about the death of Andre, at that point the minister committed to help us in every and any way he possibly could to fight the enemies that we have here in the state of Mississippi.
Wow.
My wife was president of the NAACP, and at that same time, I mentioned earlier that they were bringing Byron D. LeBecq, the murderer of Medgar Evers, back to court.
Right.
And of course, I was representing the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So, us being husband and wife and family, we believe they were trying to give us a sign of the fact of who we represented and what we were doing in the community. They didn't agree to it, and they were going to do something to let us know. And unfortunately, it was the murder and death of our son, Andre.
Wow. You know, brother, I found out something according to some of the information that I looked up about the sheriff of Simpson County. His name was Sheriff Lloyd Jones. He had he had a nickname, brother. Did you know what his nickname was according to the reports that I got?
Absolutely. His nickname was Goon Jones.
That's exactly it.
The deputies who was involved in the recent brutalization of our brother in Rankin County, their squad was named after Lord Jones, Goon Jones, in Mendenhall, Mississippi.
They was his squad.
And that was part of his squad, right? Because of the relationship that both counties have. They have a similar history, racist history, and they have a very close relationship. So all of this, it was a sign from Almighty God, Allah,
wow,
that Andre life hasn't been forgotten.
Wow.
And that I don't think it was a coincidence that this came up, and we have discovered and recognized that, you know, the relationship that those two counties, Rankin County and Simpson County, has had for many years, in other counties as well now. We see the consistency of the kind of terror that they have produced and created, you know, in these adjacent counties to Hinds County, which is Jackson.
Yes,
and it continues.
Wow. Wow. You know what, brother, I just thought about? Wow. I'm kind of shaking a little bit because, you know, his name was Andre Jones. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in 2020 gave me the name Abdul Shaheed. But prior to that, my name is Andre. My mother named me Andre. And that just really just crossed my mind sitting here listening to you. And I tell you, brother, and I'm wanting to talk to you about this because this is not some relic of the past. This kind of activity is still happening in Mississippi. And our charge is to begin to awaken our people and to begin to galvanize and create a spiritual nervous system whereby we are connected to one another to end the scourge or this kind of scourge that happens to us by ending the scourge happening amongst ourselves. So dear brother, man, I am simply honored even more so now that you would even consider coming forward, and also to his blessed mother, Sister Esther, and his sister that are probably listening. I know his sister is on, your daughter is on, tuning in. Thank you, brother, for coming to the platform, because this, like I said, there are always some caveats about what happened that seem to get left out. So you went to the jail. Now, I want to move to some of the research that I did and some of the things that I unearthed. It was in February of '93 that they had public hearings. Did you get a chance to attend any of those human rights abuses, public hearings in Mississippi that they held?
Yes, sir. I was there.
Please share your experience with us, brother.
Well, brother, it was experience that I will never forget, because it gave many others an opportunity to come forth. Gave them the courage. It gave them the courage to come forth to talk about all of the incidents that, not all of them, but many of them that have occurred throughout the state of Mississippi. And with our efforts to not allow the death of Andre to be just another death, but a murder, it encouraged and motivated others to come forth to talk about many, many other incidents that were occurring and that has occurred. Do you know, Brother Minister, that when I did the research, there was a reporter, young Caucasian, who came to Jackson to cover the story, and we went to the Bureau of Statistics here in the state of Mississippi.
Yes, sir.
And we discovered that over 40, I think it was 43 or 47 others had been hung in Mississippi jails and prisons.
Wow.
that over 40, did you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Over 47 others had the audacity to say that a sister hung herself with her socks. You know, and no one knew of this type of thing happening, these murders happening in jails and in prison here in the state of Mississippi.
Yes, sir.
Over 47 within a 5-year period. So I know that our son, Andre, that his death and murder is not in vain.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Yes,
There's
sir.
so much I could tell you, but time would not allow it. The telephone calls that I received, not just in the state of Mississippi, but throughout the country,
Yes, sir.
of similar cases that has never been prosecuted, taken to court, nothing. So this experience has shown me that nothing really has changed.
No, sir. Has not.
Nothing really has not changed. I don't know if you're familiar with the book Without Sanctuary.
Oh, yes. I talked about it this past Sunday, brother. And I really didn't get all the way into it. Yes.
And many of our people don't really know. But thank God that my wife, Esther, and my daughter, Colida, they have done several research, and they wrote a book entitled Mississippi Jail Hangings.
I need to get them on, brother. What you think, Brother Minister? Is that with your permission and with their permission? These stories have to be told. And the reason, brother, is because the scourge of violence that's being perpetrated against ourselves has to stop. And I think part of the equation or part of the formula for bringing that about is making our young people aware of what has happened to us in Mississippi, and not just what has happened, but what is still going on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
I think that they would probably be honored to come on your show and talk about it.
yes, sir. I would be honored to have them both. Yes, sir.
But and so it needs to be known. It needs to be told, because how many scenarios that I just explained is occurring every day, not just here in Mississippi, but all over the country.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Andre and the young lady that he was with had just left our home. They had went out for a date to the movies, and they decided to stop by the house and sit for a while. And it was getting late, and he was getting ready to take, he was taking the young lady home from the date and move. They came by the house for maybe a half an hour, and en route, there was a stage roadblock.
Wow.
There in Rankin County.
Rankin County.
Rankin County.
Goon Squad.
And the Goon Squad that adopted the name of Boone Jones from Simpson County. And I was told that I think they once worked there. Someone in the ranks there worked at Simpson, in Simpson County. So that name was adopted in Rankin County. And so the point I'm making is that it's really bigger than our family.
Yes, sir.
I don't believe in coincidence. I think that it's a sign for us to know that, Andre life was not in vain, and that this story needs to be known for many, many reasons. And I know we don't have the time to talk about that, but maybe we can come back and talk about that, because I had to receive calls from all over the country.
Yes, sir.
People who wanted to talk to my wife, but she was carrying my daughter, Carla, at the time, and so I couldn't allow her to listen to all of the pain from the people who were calling from all over the country, saying to us the same thing happened to them. Wow. And I had to drink it in so my wife would not hear it consistently, but I drank it. And
my God,
I will never be the same.
Yes, sir. Man. Brother Charles, Brother Minister, man, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the calendar. Guess what next Thursday is? August the 22nd.
Yes,
that is the actual anniversary. So I'm going to talk to you offline about that, about next Thursday. And I do plan to broadcast, be it the will. Oh, no, hold on. Let me make sure. Today is the 15th, right?
I think so. Yes, sir.
Right. Yes. Next Thursday is indeed the 22nd. So I'll make sure I got my. So.
Now think about what you just said.
Yes, sir.
You had no idea.
No, I didn't.
You had no idea.
No, I did not.
So what is that saying about this event, this incident?
Yes, sir.
That you had no idea that you were asking me to come on to talk about the death and the murder of Andre.
Yes, sir.
Not knowing that this is the time.
Man.
This is the time of the year that it actually happened.
Mm.
And I wanted that to be known by the listeners, because I don't believe in coincidence.
Yes, sir.
The recent incident that occurred in Rankin County, where he was stopped and transported to Simpson County, I don't think that was a coincidence.
No, sir.
Because when I got the call, a coworker told me about the incident, and I really didn't know. I had heard about it, but I didn't know the details of it.
Right.
And so when I went to the actual press conference, I was informed of more detail of the incident. And I said to myself, well, this is not a coincidence, because I really didn't plan to go. I had heard about it, but I hadn't heard all the details of it. But once I heard the details of it, I said, I got to go. And brother minister, when I got there were several mothers who came with photographs of some of their family members who had had similar experiences that had never been exposed to the media. And most people in the community didn't know nothing about it. But they had pictures of their children, their daughters, and their sons who had gotten beaten by police officers in the community. But had nobody brought it to the forefront before the media and the public. So it was hidden. So the incident that occurred recently gave them an opportunity to show the condition that our people are living in under here in the state of Mississippi, and some of these small communities, these small areas where there's not a lot of voices or advocates for our people.
Wow.
And it just happens, and nothing is done, nothing is investigated, because many of our people are not connected to an organization, and they really don't know what to do. They're not connected with any attorneys or any investigators or anything, or the media. So all they do is moan, cry, and bury their loved ones. And I recognize this experience when Andre was murdered. It was a reporter from the Atlanta Constitution who wanted to do a report, and he called me, and we went to the Bureau of Statistics, and we discovered that over 47 others had been hung in Mississippi jails or prisons within a 5 to 7 year period. So it was incredible to realize that this had happened, and no one knew nothing about it, because these are men and women who are locked down in the prisons and jails in the state of Mississippi.
Wow. Good God Almighty. So I found something too, brother, to your point of it being brought to light. During that 1993 Commission on Human Rights Abuses public hearings they had in Mississippi, according to the history, one Miss Andrea Gibbs, she was a former deputy sheriff in the Harrison County Jail and the youth detention facility in Gulfport, Mississippi. And she testified, and I'm going to quote, they quoted her as saying, "I've personally seen dozens of beatings of black, white, and Nicaraguan detainees. I've seen them kicked," she's saying, "I seen them kicked, strangled, slapped, punched, stabbed," Gibbs said to Gibbs, who is white, said that when she and 3 African-American deputies told their superiors about their intention to report these abuses, they were fired. And then Gibbs pointed out, she said, that the connection between the brutality she witnessed and the jail lynching, she said, quote, "We documented more than 75 cases of people being beaten. What is upsetting," she continues, "is that the majority of the alleged suicides occurred after 1989, when she and other deputies first raised concern about the abuses. Any one of the beatings I saw," she continues, "could have escalated into murder. And it doesn't take a smart person to realize that the best way to cover that up is to make it appear as a suicide," end quote. This is what was said in the public hearing.
Absolutely.
So, but brother, I want to get to the wake of it. And when the minister came down, and I remember that clearly. I used to quote that parts of that lecture, excerpts of the minister's words. Brother, it so impacted me that I used to quote 2 to 3 minutes of his talk or his message. It wasn't a talk. It was a divine message. It was a warning and some more stuff. I used to quote it verbatim. But before I get into that, before we get into that, the Justice Department, according to the research I've done, concluded that overcrowding and other problems led to inmate suicides. But they ruled that there was no evidence of foul play by Mississippi law enforcement authorities. But here's the kicker. Since that federal probe, there have been no official suicides by hanging in Mississippi. Yet jail conditions in the state certainly have not improved. And I know that because when we had the radio broadcast in Holly Springs, down in Parchment, brothers were dying daily down there. So it could not have been the overcrowding and the conditions. If that were the case, why did the hangings abruptly stop?
Right.
So, brother, but, God has a way of letting the wicked know that he's watching. But, Brother Charles, look, man, we're at that time. We're a little bit beyond it, but I'm going to take a quick break and tell you what, my brother, just stand by, and I'll be back in about 4 minutes. We got to get our commercial announcements in. So, dear family, brothers and sisters, yes, sir, we're going to keep our brother on, and we're going to be back after these commercial announcements. Y'all stand by.
You can tell, COINTEL, my clique has never failed. My boat has never sunk, my ship has never sailed. My hope is never shaken, my spirit is never broken. My legs are never open, my words will always be quoted. My vision is focused.
Shake's Famous Seasonings. Flavors for every occasion. Want to add a touch of authentic flavor to any dish? Searching for a unique range of seasonings that always put great taste on the menu? Welcome to Shake's Famous Seasonings. Whether you're a professional chef, passionate home cook, or a complete beginner in the kitchen, taste and flavor should always be on the menu. It's why Master Chef Rashid Muhammad has combined more than 30 years in the kitchen with a passion for mouth-watering flavors to create a range of seasonings unlike any other. Always gluten-free, so you can enjoy great taste exactly how nature intended. Versatile flavors that work with fresh fish, chicken, or vegetables from the very first bite. Authentic cooking experience that adds something special to any occasion. Versatile seasonings that are perfect for baking, frying, grilling, and plenty of tasting. Ready for real authentic flavor? When it's time to see just how delicious seasoned foods can be, why wait? With the click of a button, you can have 30 years of passion for food sent direct to your door. Just what you need to add flavors to every occasion and create meals that you'll always want to eat twice.
Place your order at sfseasonings.com. That's sfseasonings.com.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
Taste the difference. Taste Supreme. Enjoy our 100% natural Supreme spring water with natural calcium and magnesium, but zero fluoride and zero chloride. Our bottles are BPA free. Order yours today. Call us at 800-573-8033. That's 800-573-8033. Or visit us online at www.supremespringwater.com. Live supreme. Be supreme. Drink supreme. Supreme Spring Water. 801 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314. What's your source for truth in news reports?
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Where do you turn for non-corporate driven news that's fair and balanced?
No shoot. No shoot. No shoot.
Subscribe to the Final Call News, your #1 free and independent news source that delivers hard-hitting national and international news coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues. To subscribe to local home delivery, call us at area code 662-252-8999. That's 662-252-8999. Visit our website at www.finalcall.com.
The Urban Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. At Urban Indulgence, we pride ourselves on offering quality, effective skincare. Handcrafted with plant-based, skin-loving ingredients, our soaps and body butters will give you luxurious lather and ultimate moisture. Experience the Urban Indulgence at 3314 Poplar Avenue in Memphis, 3 blocks west of Poplar Plaza, or shop with us online at theurbanindulgence.com. Theurbanindulgence.com.
10,000 fearless on the move.
Yes, and we are back live. Also be advised that the Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique is also have a new location. They are located also inside of the Painted Tree here in Memphis. It's located at 8045 Giacosa Plaza. That's out in the Whoop Chase Mall area. So go to the Painted Tree and pick you up some of that Urban Indulgence bath and body products right there in the Whoop Chase area. So we're going to get our brother Charles back on, and hold on. I think we got him here. Brother Charles is ready to come back. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, my dear brother, loud and clear. Once again, brother, thank you for being with us. And I want to get this next part, the second half, for the next 30 minutes or so, because we stop at 9 o'clock. But, brother, there's a lot more, as you stated, that can be said about what happened. And God willing, brother, I'm going to talk to you offline and explore the likelihood of the possibility of your queen coming on and talking about her book. I wish I could get like a synopsis of the book to kind of peruse it over the next week or so and possibly get her on. But brother, this is really something. I mean, this is touching my soul here, brother. But the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, as I know now, committed and walked with you and your family, brother, every step of the way. And I remember I had just really started, I was in processing, because I didn't register to September 21st, 1993. So that summer, June, is when the minister came to Mississippi. Share with us your experience when the minister came and who had been supporting you and your family the whole way.
Well, brother, I cannot thank the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan enough for his support in our efforts to get justice. Of course, the message that he came and delivered at Jackson State University has been heard all over the world. I know the last time I looked at it on YouTube, it was like 475,000, right at 500,000 views.
Ooh.
And it's probably not enough. Because we don't know how many people was in the same room,
right,
watching that one view. So it's much more than that. If the stats saying that they have over 475,000 views, we don't know how many people was viewing it with those 471,000 views. So his message has reverberated all over the world, and rightfully so. But to give you a on-the-spot report and experience, as he was saying to the audience, that you made a mistake when you killed the son of a Muslim.
Yes.
And he said that I'm going to pray to my God and that God brings wrath to the state of Mississippi all the way to Washington, D.C.
Yes, sir.
Well, as it was coming out of his mouth, the winds began to blow. In Mississippi alone, it rained for 11 days straight from that point. And little did I know, I was in Columbia, South Carolina, and someone introduced me to a brother who was with the National Guard. And he said to me, he said, brother, you're the son, or you're the father of the son, your son was murdered in Mississippi. I said, yes, sir. He said that I am in the National Guard, and we had to work the Great Flood of 93. Well, I had no idea that there was any such thing as the Great Flood of 93. And when I looked that up in the weather, from the Weather Channel, it was one of the greatest floods that ever occurred in the United States. And that night that the minister came to Jackson, and at Jackson State, Mississippi, he asked God to bring wrath on the state of Mississippi.
And he did.
And from Mississippi to Washington, D.C., that actually happened.
Yes, sir.
Allah answered him immediately.
Yes, sir.
And it's documented, you know. And so I know that the death of our son, Andre, that his death was bigger
Yes, sir.
than most of us really understand. Because from that experience, I have never stopped receiving condolences from people who said to me that, brother, when I heard that message from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I joined the Nation of Islam.
Me too. Me too, brother. That I was processing already, but when I heard that, you know, it created in me a sense of urgency to go ahead and finish penning my letter. And I joined the niche because, brother, I heard the minister pray. He told the preachers in the audience, he said, you pray that God is going to spare Mississippi. And I'm going to pray in words that Allah brings death and destruction to Mississippi, and we're going to see whose God is God. Now, some of the brothers from Memphis was in Mississippi at that meeting. And when they got back to Memphis, they reported to us. They said, brother, we could barely get out of town before it was raining so hard you couldn't see coming down the highway. And it rained for 11 days. And I started asking myself, I was like, who is this man? You know, because I'd already been listening to him. So I'm like, who is this man? So, brother, I just had to get that in. But please continue your experience with the minister Kane.
Brother, that you know, that experience motivated many from around the world, from around the world, to join on to the Nation of Islam. What's so iconic and real about this is that Andre wanted to join the Nation of Islam. It was him who asked his mother, Esther, to find out how he could join the Nation of Islam. And when we met, I recognized, as well as she recognized, that we had so much in common in our love for our people and our dedication to see our people rise. She was president of the NAACP here in Jackson.
That's right.
During the time that they were bringing Byron D. LeBeckwith back to court. Right. And of course, I was the student minister for the Nation of Islam.
Yes, sir.
And we saw that we had something in common. Little did we know that we would end up in matrimony.
Yes, sir.
But it was bigger than us. When I look at it and when we look at it now, it was something that had to happen.
Yes, sir.
It was something that was meant to happen.
Yes. Praise be to Allah.
Little did we know. A little bit we know.
Yes.
And at that time. But
yes, sir.
I just like to add that Allah answered the minister immediately.
Yes. Because what people don't realize, brother, it flooded from Jackson, Mississippi, down the Mississippi River. It broke levees all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico, brother. And I found a report on the damage that was done, and let me share with the audience real quickly what I found according to some of the reports. They call it the Great Flood of 1993. And another name they use is the Great Mississippi and Missouri Rivers Flood of 93. Now, that was the Mississippi flood. Don't try to drag Missouri in it. No.
That's exactly right.
And
you're absolutely right.
Yes, sir. But according to what they write, brother, they said the flood is among the most costly and devastating to ever occur in the United States, with 50 dead.
Yeah.
And the damage estimation was between $12 and $16 billion. Now, if you convert that into today's numbers, that would be between 23 and $30 billion in damage.
Absolutely.
And it affected 320,000 square miles.
That's exactly right.
And it was about 745 miles in length and about 435 miles in width.
Right.
And it was the worst, according to what the disaster experts say. It says it was the worst such U.S. disaster since the Great Mississippi Flood of 1927, as measured by duration, area inundated, and people that were displaced. So, brother, this response from Allah, and this is important, brother, because, I'm kind of in conversations with our brothers and sisters in our communities throughout Mississippi. And quick shout out to the street tribes down there in Mississippi. Love you all, brother. God willing, we will be getting together to bring a healing to one another. But I believe, Brother Charles, Brother Minister, that if our young people knew these kinds of things, if I got the opportunity to read to them what happened in the book Without Sanctuary, an incident that happened in Vicksburg, Mississippi, that I intended to read this past Sunday, but didn't get to it. And the things that continue to happen and how they have socially engineered the self-destruction of particularly our young black people and young black men in particular. I believe that kind of information can inspire our young brothers to reach for greatness and abandon what has been popularized to them of criminal lifestyle and self-destructive behavior. I just believe that, brother. So we just got to go after it.
Brother Minister, first of all, let me say to you, thank you for allowing me to express gratitude on behalf of my wife and my daughter. Allah bless me to now be the proud grandfather.
Oh,
my daughter, she just a few days ago brought into the world a son, a grandson, my first grandson. I have granddaughters, but this is my first grandson, and she named him Andrew Zion.
Andrew. Come on, now. That's right. Praise be to Allah. Man, ain't that something? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Congratulations to your daughter and your family, brother. We got an Andrew in here.
And I want to share this with your listening audience.
Please.
Out of all the things that you heard me say tonight, I just want you to take a different look at your children every day, because, they are our future, and they are our future leaders, doctors, lawyers. In every area, they are our future, and we must express to them how valuable their life is.
That's right.
And what they have to offer, to the world.
That's right.
And when you look at your children, look at them in a way that you value who they are, because they are really you all over again. But you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. So begin to look at your children every day and thank Allah for your children, because Andre could have been any of our children.
That's right.
And it's happening every day. And the saddest part about what we're talking about, we are killing each other over nothing.
Yes.
And this story of Andre should help us to begin to understand that whatever differences that we have among ourselves, and I'm talking to the young people,
that's right.
We need to squash it.
That's
we need to squash it. We need to squash it, because we have a real enemy out here that don't want to see us mature and become men and women that we have the potential to become. So it's stories like the story of Andre that maybe can help our young people know that they are valuable and that they have a strong future.
That's
Andre was going, he had gotten a scholarship to Alcorn University to become an engineer.
That's right.
How many engineers we need to build a new reality for ourselves?
That's right. Yes, sir.
And so I just hope that those who are able to hear this broadcast, let their children listen to it, and then go on YouTube and bring down the message that the minister gave to help us with our legal fund. It's called The Wrath of God at Jackson State University.
The Wrath of God.
The Wrath of God.
Yes.
And also they can look at Unsolved Mysteries. There's an episode of Unsolved Mysteries. There's an episode of Bertice Berry Show that we went on to talk about it. And share it with as many people as you possibly can, because when you look at your children and they leave your home, you expect for them to come back the same that they left, but that ain't necessarily so.
That's right.
And they need to know about this story, because they need to understand that the danger that they're in, because you have many others out here that don't want to see them become the doctors, the lawyers, the engineers, and the professionals that they can become to serve our people.
Yes, sir.
We need to make sure that our children see value in themselves. And those of us who are parents must demonstrate that love and help them to be encouraged to do the best that they can do to serve our people. Brother, I thank you for allowing me. Little did we know that the timing of this interview was at the same dates that the incident occurred. You didn't know.
No, I had no idea.
You had no idea.
I knew when the flood happened.
It's bigger than us.
Yes.
It's really bigger than us because somebody who is listening to your program is going to be changed from this broadcast.
Yes.
And they're going to look at their children a little bit different.
That's right.
I believe.
I believe it too,
Yeah,
brother. I believe it. I believe all of the brothers and sisters from the university to the University of the Bricks out in the street, to the brother that's eloquent, to the brother that's ain't so eloquent, to the sister that's well manicured, to the sister that's not so well manicured. All of us are valuable, and be it the will of Allah, Brother Minister Charles, we're going to keep doing and running our leg, brother, while we're here, and go among our people and spread love and positivity, and let them know that, look, you got a future. You have to grab it, though. You can grab it. And I tell young people, brother, and those that are listening, I'm going to share with you a little axiom that I would give to the high school students when I was working at my old high school at Hamilton. I would tell them, brother, sister, don't let where you come from of bad circumstances dictate what you become. Because there are a lot of people who have come from horrible circumstances and they overcame them. So don't let where you come from dictate what you can become. So I say that message, and we're going to spread that, be it the will and by the help of Allah, throughout the state of Mississippi. And brothers and sisters of goodwill, I know they're out there. They're in these affluent neighborhoods. They're professionals, and they're just regular brothers and sisters on the block, just looking for an opportunity. And God willing, Brother Minister Charles, this platform is going to afford opportunity to the voices, from the voices in the street to the voices in the suite, to come on and let us know what's happening from the ground level all the way up to the skyscraper level. So, Brother Minister, man, anything else? Please share something else before you get away. Whatever you want to close out with your remarks.
Well, first of all, let me let you know that my brother Shantain, is with me. He's with me right now. He's heard every word that.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Captain.
Brother Shantain?
Yes, sir.
Brother Minister is speaking to you.
Assalamu alaikum, Big Cap.
What's going on, sir? How you doing?
Man, I am blacktastic and getting better. Brother, thank you so much for assisting our student minister, Student Minister Emeritus Charles Muhammad. And like I said, Brother Minister, I want to get on with you offline, brother. And that book that your wife and daughter wrote must be highlighted. But please continue with your closing remarks, Brother Minister.
Well, on behalf of my wife, Esther, and my daughter, Carla, and now my new grandson, Andrew, we thank you for allowing me to first represent them and to share with other mothers and fathers and stepfathers and stepmothers the experience, and that when they look at their children, they need to take a close look, because it may be the last time that they see them. I do not wish that for nothing, but I want to say that because we sometimes take each other for granted. And when these experiences occur, we don't want to say that I wish I would have said something before now, that they knew that I love them and that I want them to grow and develop and mature to be the man and woman that God determines them to be. I want them to look at their children a little bit different after listening to this experience and message, because it's not for certain that you may see them tomorrow or talk with them tomorrow, because we're not in control of all of that. But take advantage of the time that you have with your children, whatever age they are, and take a look and thank God that He blessed you to bring them from your very essence. So again, I would love to come back at any time to talk about some of the things that we need to really be concerned about, and that is how we can bring our communities in place and together, and how we can get this message, this experience to our young people so they can start thinking about the decisions that they make, and that they may not realize the danger, the very real danger that they are in, especially here in what we call the deep, 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 deep South. So again, thank you on behalf of my family and the believers here in Jackson and all over the world, because we receive support from all of the believers and many unknown people in our effort to get justice for Andre, and we're still working for it, because there's many more Andres out there, and we got to continue to work. Again, thank you.
Brother, thank you. Thank you so much. And please, 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 give my big brother, student minister Abram Muhammad, and the laboring staff and believers there in Mosque number 78 in Jackson our love and greetings. So certainly, once again, we thank our brother, student minister emeritus Charles Muhammad, and brother, know that you will be welcomed back. And again, like I said, your queen and your daughter, man, the book, we want to know more. We want to know more. We want to know more. So brothers and sisters, let's give them one more round of applause, thanking them for being on. Man, what a blessing, what a blessing. Yes. At this time, brothers and sisters, we're going to bring to you a cultural segment, and we want to close with a little inspirational music and something just to think about. And this one comes from our brother Hashim Hakeem, hip-hop artist in the Nation of Islam. He calls this one The Ghost of Emmett Till.
You use your religion as an excuse not to stand up and fight your natural enemy. And the only people on this earth, Brother Alton, the only people on this earth that use their religion and their so-called belief in God as an excuse not to stand up and confront their enemy is my people. Negroes are the only people I know that use it.
Ghost. I ain't dead. It's a pleasure to give my life just to live forever. He who weaponizes the blood of martyrs said, get your children ready for the slaughter. Blame the patriarchy, thank your fathers. But every racist devil had a racist mama. When strange fruit meets forbidden fruit, your hands up today, don't shoot. So say my name. Really can't afford this price of fame. Who knew the guy had a boomerang and he called it karma? She ain't never shied away from no drama. From 1555 to 1955, we watched it intensify. Some still believe the lies, cause niggas too scared to believe they eyes. My fear died in the Tallahatchie. Rose from the dead, can't catch me. Patrons say now to get back. Gave birth to the hit back. Graduated to the click clack. Black Panthers and the black Muslims, yeah, devil this, that. Paid back as a Karen with a pimp slap. You don't wanna miss that. Got the weight of the world on my back, devil lift that.
It is a will, there's a way. There's a way, there's a way. We finna get it either way. We don't forgive when we finish praying. Yeah, we taking names, taking over, we taking everything. Ain't no waiting, we enforcing the change.
This ain't back in the day. This is a message to the right folks. Black, brown, red, yellow, white folks. No mercy, yelling out, please. Can you smell the fried blood in the breeze? Comatose, but I still feel pain. Shotgun, hole in my brain, whole lot of hatred, whole lot of rage over my dead body. These things gon' change. Y'all don't wanna teach history in school, cause our open enemy look just like you in the integrated classroom. How that look? But white folks killing blacks in the history books. Killing us then, kicking, choking the steel. Now insert the ghost of Emmett Till. For real? These devils are the same way today. Caught red-handed, but still get away.
Really? It is a will, there's a way, there's a way, there's a way. We finna get it either way. We don't forgive when we finish praying. Yeah. We taking names, taking over, we taking everything. Ain't no waiting, we enforcing the change.
This ain't back in the day.
It is a will, there's a way, there's a way, there's a way. We finna get it either way. We don't forgive when we finish praying. Yeah. We taking names, taking over, we taking everything. Ain't no waiting, we enforcing the change.
This ain't back in the day.
It is a will, there's a way, there's a way, there's a way. We finna get it either way. We don't forgive when we finish praying. Yeah. We taking names, taking over, we taking everything. Ain't no waiting,
We enforcing the change, yeah.
Yeah, that was our brother Hashim Hakeem. Make sure you go and pick up that music now. Go and pick it up. You can find it on iTunes and on other platforms. Brothers and sisters, we've come to the end of another episode of the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. We want to thank all of you who took time out of your evening to be with us. I thoroughly enjoyed my brother. I got to get back in touch with him. And we got to do this. We got to take this a few steps further. So, brothers and sisters, always remember, I'm going to give you a quote from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, wherein he told us, those of us who struggle for justice, those of us who struggle to see the liberation of our people, remember these words from him when he said, quote, no one can attempt to help our people do anything productive and constructive without feeling personal hurt, pain, loss, being evil spoken of, falsely accused, sometimes beaten, sent to prison, or even put to death. This is the path of Jesus. This is the path of Muhammad. This is the path of every sincere person who wants to see his or her people delivered from our present condition, end quote. That's from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And as we close, brothers and sisters, always remember that self-improvement is the basis for community development. Until next week, God willing, Assalamu alaikum.
Deep in the delta where the willows grow, in the soil stained by the blood of my ancestors. Punch bowl voices call out to my soul for justice. The wicked will reap what they've sown. Spirit of Aziz is back on the rise. Soldiers in the delta kept it alive. Time to stand up, take our place in the sun. Understand the time and what must be done.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. This is it. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip.
Gotta make a move and take control. Have something we can call our own. So shine your light, help the people see that now is the time for us to be free. And if you waiting on the pie in the sky, you better wake up fast. They told you a lie, cause big fields await the wide awake man. Elijah's got the master.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move.
See, the time is now. What you waiting on? Quit shooting your brothers. Put your gun down. Come on. They got a cage waiting for you if you keep that up. Early graves coming to you. From that, can't raise you up. Now, Sister Ida B and Fannie Lou, check them out and you'll know what to do. But if you really want your enemy to be alarmed, read the final call. Follow Farrakhan.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. This is it. 10K fearless.